call this meeting to order. If it will start with pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all and welcome this evening. We'll start with roll call.
Here. Mr. Duquette.
Here.
Mr. Bruno.
Here.
Mr. Irwin.
Here.
Mr. Randall.
Present, thank you.
Shaka, our dog control officer. Bob Glipp, our zoning officer. Tyler Jarvis, our deputy highway superintendent. Kristen Marino, our recreation director. Helen Nurska, our historian. Courtney Tatro, our water and sewer superintendent. Mike Farrell, our highway superintendent. Our confidential secretary to the board, Pam Barber, our guests, John Ryan, Carl, and Bill.
Good evening, everybody.
Excellent, thank you.
Okay, item number 4 on the agenda, moving along. If I could have a motion, please, to accept the minutes from the regular meeting of October 10th, which you all received. So Mel and Eric.
You guys are quick tonight, man. I'm gonna have to be on the ball.
You were sleeping out the
Oh,
window
yeah,
there.
I saw him raise his hand like he was in high school over there.
This brings us to item 5 on the, I guess we actually should vote on accepting the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is accepted. Number 5, community input. Does anyone wish to address the board this evening?
There's nobody here, so there.
No, nobody's on there.
Move on to item 6. The first item for discussion and a motion is a request from the Lakes to Lots organization who's looking to place 4 signs and kiosk locations around, pardon? 4? 3? 3 signs now. At various locations, some including the town of Peru. I would recommend for the moment that we table any board action on that and refer it over to Helen to work with the organization and see if we can come up with a location or 2 at least in the town that would make some sense to folks. What these are signage that describes the battle history that took place along the lakes and in the region, and they're looking to place these signs with historical information on them for the public to be able to benefit from them. So we want to give it a little bit more attention before we make a response or a recommendation as to where they might be located.
A little information on what the signs look like or anything like that?
Yes.
I've only seen.
Yeah, okay, if
I'm not
you
sure
could
who
pass
has
that along to
now.
us, not tonight.
And
You
do you
did?
have that in your office?
You
Or
sent
does
it already?
Helen has pictures right behind you.
didn't open it.
Craig.
I
I have pictures, but one of them, and we need to talk to the gentleman that may be offered to us because one of them has everything to do with us, everything. The other doesn't. So we need a discussion. That's why I thank you for tabling it because we'll get back to you. I'll get back to everybody about, how I think we can move forward.
So I see the paper, but I don't see the plaque or whatever he's
No,
looking at.
no.
It's gonna
and
look
I
just
had
like
to,
that.
it was really, I had to use a magnifying glass to read this. So, to make sure, yeah, so, no, you'll get more information. We don't
Okay, I gotta check
have
my
a decision
emails back.
right now.
I'm not sure that there may also have, the town, at the very least, the town would have to agree to use our labor to install it. That's one feature, and I'm not sure who's designing the base for it.
Okay, I'll make a motion to table.
Thank you. Second. Eric, further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Motion is tabled, or the request is tabled. Helen, happy to work with you on that.
Yes.
where we can.
Thank you, Alan.
Item number 7, the Highway Department has a Dynapac roller and a Blawknox paver.
Yep.
Which it was was initially put up for auction through a company that we use for auctioning surplus equipment. The bids were not accepted, and in place of it, the department has an offer from the town of Jay for both pieces for a total value of $40,000. Of that 40, the Paver, I believe, is jointly owned with the town of Asst.
Mhm.
Yeah, 15,000 will go to town hall.
So of the 40, 15 will go to the town of Asst.
Yep.
And 25 will come to the town of Peru. Do we have that right, Mike? I think
Yep.
we do. We have a motion,
I'll make the motion.
actually, is that a roll call?
No.
No, we gotta have a motion first.
I gotta read it first now. No, I need a second.
Second.
Thank you.
Authorizing the town supervisor in the town of Asst. and the town of Peru Highway Departments as co-owners to approve the sale of the 2005 Blawknox Paver and the Dynapac roller to the town of Jay. Whereas it has been determined in consultation with the town highway superintendents that the town of Peru and the town of Asst. has no further need for a 2005 Blawknox Paver and Dynapac roller, and whereas the town of Peru and the town of Asst. has agreed to the sale of the equipment to the town of Jay, and as is conditioned for the sale and split the proceeds according to the percentages of ownership in each of the pieces. And it is resolved that the town supervisor is hereby authorized and directed to make known to the public that such sale 2005 Blawknox Paver for $30,000, half of which goes to the town of Asst. and the sale of the Dynapac roller for $10,000, that the town of Peru being the sole owner to be sold as is, with no warranties or guarantees expressed or implied to the town of Jay. The towns will split the proceeds as per ownership percentages. It is further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Beautiful.
Mr. Douglas?
Yeah.
Mr. Duque?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
And Mr. Randall?
Yes. Thank you for that.
The roller went by the other day, so it's been delivered, right?
What's that?
The roller went by, so it's been delivered, right?
Yeah.
Thank you for your good work on that, Mike. It's always good to get equipment that's surplus out of the way.
Yeah.
Next item, number 8, you may recall at a prior meeting that we tabled a proposed snow and ice removal service contract with Clerk County, pending an outcome of a further discussion
Luscious.
taking place amongst various supervisors in the county. As a result of that meeting, the county did make a change in the contract, and the 3-year contract that was proposed has been rescinded, and in its place we have a 1-year contract, which I believe has been accepted by all, or agreed upon, which provides for a 2.5% payment per mile. Is it percent or?
Yeah. We will have another meeting with the county, somewhere, I talked to Carl and Lisa from the county, somewhere around January. They're gonna make all the towns do the same thing I did, turn in figures, and prove to them that they're losing money. So, you know, it's hard to ask for an increase if you're not showing your numbers, so. I'm very comfortable with the old, as I said, the last meeting, with the contract we had, but I know the numbers, but,
Are we losing money?
no.
Good.
No,
I'll make a motion to accept this.
What this does in the way of explanation is the 2.5% is the increase for the 1-year term coming up. The benefit to all of the towns in the county is that the 2nd and 3rd year are to be negotiated based upon Mike's description.
And that 2.5 is the same as it was in the
Was,
first year.
yeah, so it's one, that after this meeting in January, February, whenever the timetable works out, weather permitting, they're still gonna try to do a 2 or 3 year, which I don't have a problem with, obviously some towns do.
So this solves the immediate dilemma for everybody. And
Excellent.
certainly recommend that it be considered for approval. We have a
That was
motion.
my motion.
Correct.
I'll second.
No seconds.
A resolution approving the amended one-year agreement for snow and ice services agreement between the town of Peru and the Clinton County Highway Department and authorizing the supervisor to execute the same. Whereas the town board members have the agreement between the Clinton County Highway Department and the town of Peru before them. Whereas the amended one-year contract for snow and ice services between the county and the town for the 2024-2025 snow and ice seasons. This agreement includes rate increases of 2.5% over the one-year period for regular and snowed-out roads, plus a fuel adjustment based on applicable increases and decreases in the market price of diesel fuel for Clinton County. Therefore, be it resolved, said proposed agreement is approved and the supervisor being hereby is authorized to execute said contract, and be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Duque?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
And Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
And Supervisor Rand said yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Rando.
That's
Thank
perfect.
you.
Perfectly okay.
And Mr. Rando. Thank you.
Okay.
That's my own knowledge.
The next item for consideration is a resolution that is approving or accepting the RFQ that was submitted by various engineering firms for services, including the design, bidding, and construction of a proposed new wastewater treatment plant. Ask for a motion on that.
Second?
A resolution approving AES Northeast incorporates RFQ for the remaining engineering services, including design, bidding, construction, administration, and construction observation for the wastewater treatment plant upgrade project CWSRF number C5-5508-03-00, and authorizing the supervisor to execute the whereas the town of Peru issued an RFQ for the remaining. Whereas the submittals received were reviewed in keeping with the town's evaluating engineering qualifications process and the New York State EFC Architecture and Engineering Services Procurement Guidance document, and whereas it was determined that AES Northeast was the best qualified candidate, now therefore be it resolved that the town of Peru award the contract for said engineering services to AES Northeast, and now therefore be it further resolved that the town of Peru hereby authorize the town supervisor to execute a contract for said engineering services with AES Northeast. Resolved said proposed agreement is approved and the supervisor be and hereby is authorized to execute said agreement, and be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Duque?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
And Mr. Randall?
Yes, thank you.
No retiring until that building is 100% complete, pal. Oh, yeah, we're asking for a guarantee right now.
Understand, this basically is a requirement of the Environmental Facilities Corporation as it relates to any grant funding and financing that the town may be receiving in connection with the development of that plant, if and when that is done. The requirement was that we publicly solicit requests for qualifications, looking for firms that are qualified to do the design and the grant funding and construction management as it goes down the road. In fact, we received two proposals. We received one from AES, which we expected because they actually are designing the firm that we're proposing, and a competing proposal from CNS Engineering, which is another well-qualified engineering group. It's actually doing some other work for the town. I think on one of the bridge projects right now. So this is a step in that process, and there's more to come. There will ultimately have to be a contract for the engineering firm. That's not yet available for us
We should have the contract for the next
for
meeting.
the next meeting.
Thank you, Pamela.
no other questions from the council on that, I'll move on to item
No, sir, thank you.
Item 10 is a discussion and resolution regarding the approval for the hiring of Alexis Grennan as a part-time assistant recreation director for the fall sports program. And we have the recommendation from Kristen supporting that, I believe, so it's appropriate for us to fill that.
I'll make the motion.
Jen? Read that, please.
A resolution authorizing the hiring of Alexis Grennan as of July 24th, 2024 for the Assistant Recreation Director for Fall Sports due to the current opening in the Recreation Department. Whereas the town board has agreed that an Assistant Recreation Director for Fall Sports is necessary for the effective operation of the Peru Recreation Department following the recommendation of the Peru Recreation Director, Kristen Marino. Be it resolved that Alexis Grennan will be hired as a part-time Assistant Recreation Director for the town of Peru Recreation Department at a rate of $1,030, which is one-third of the budget allotment of $3,090, with a start date of July 24th, 2024. The Peru Town Board hereby authorizes the hiring of Alexis Grennan for a part-time position, and be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Roll call.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Duquette?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
And Mr. Randall?
Yes.
Do we need a letter from that individual?
I think Pam got all the paperwork.
Actually, because it's a regular appointment,
It's a director versus,
yeah, it's a regular appointment and not an appointment for the youth commission, we don't.
Youth commission members have to have an appointment from the youth commission, and then that gets sent to Pam, and then that gets sent to the board for a resolution for them to be on the youth commission. Okay, so like Alexis Grennan, she's on the board. The board, the youth commission committee recommended her to serve on the youth commission committee. Then they send a letter to Pam, then a resolution is sent, and then the board approves her to be on the youth commission.
And Kristen is appointing
once she's
her
on, she's good to go.
for it.
Right, because because it's two different entities. There's the recreation director and there's the youth commission. Two separate entities.
Beautiful, thank you.
Glad you found help.
Me too.
Glad you found
Thank
out. Probably not enough, but you found some.
Thank you for your efforts, Kristen. It's a yeoman's job you're doing with everything you have to balance there.
Oh, I saw him taking down the soccer nets today, I started crying.
Ann, would you like to speak?
Just for future reference, though, people, when they get hired, they need to get all the paperwork in and approved by the board before they start,
Yeah.
not after.
Not the horse after the cart. Yeah,
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
At least this gets her paid.
Yeah.
Okay, item 11 involves an internal audit, or an internal control audit for the procedures and record keeping as conducted by the Town of Peru Town Tax Collector and Town Clerk. That was conducted this year by Mr. James Douglas. And the report has been submitted. Once again, it requires a resolution, so if you'll read that.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Making up for lost time.
I know, you can't.
Did we get a second on that, Eric?
Yeah, Eric.
You started reading the beginning.
Resolution accepting the results of internal control audit for procedures and record keeping for the Town of Peru, Town Tax Collector, and Town Clerk. Whereas the Town Board has before it the report of internal audit for the Peru Town Tax Collector and Town Clerk conducted by Deputy Supervisor Jane Douglas on October 15, 2024, and whereas the Town Board agrees with the overall findings of this report of audit, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board approves and accepts the internal controls audit of the town of Peru tax collector and town clerk for the record of this audit to be included in the official record of this board meeting and be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
As you can see, guys, as I just did that, her records are right up perfect, and she does a great job with that.
Thank you for
Thank
doing
you.
that work, Jim.
Welcome.
Thank you, Jim
It's a roll call.
and Diane.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Dukex?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes,
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
And Mr. Randall?
Yes.
beautiful.
Good job.
Well, does anyone, do any of you gentlemen have any other items of business that you wish to bring up, either new or old?
I'm fine at the moment.
I do have one item, which we're working on. I was informed today that a sign has been installed at the Carpenter Flats Bridge, which will ultimately be named Christopher Darrow. It will be Christopher Darrow Bridge.
Yes.
I'm not sure that resolution and request came about by this board back in April, but we're at a point where I need someone that knows the Garrows and the family to contact them, see if we can get a date when we can have a commemoration.
I know
Of
his dad,
that.
I know his dad.
Can you do
I
that?
know Jim, I know.
Because I was gonna, I know Maggie and Mom and all that through
Yeah, I
sports
know his
very, very
dad,
well.
I know his dad
Okay.
real well, so.
If you'll work with me on that, I'll be happy to
What's your name? and
coordinate the rest of it.
Good soccer player.
Soccer and football.
Any other
And
items?
Yeah, she was the
business for the
kicker for
board?
the football team.
The only thing I wanted to comment and thank Helen for a fantastic article in the paper on starch mills in Peru and elsewhere. Last week's paper, your article from you on starch mills
Oh, yes.
throughout the county.
Yes, my name was on it, but I didn't write it.
Ah.
I had some.
Plagiarism.
How great. Did you like it though? It was good. Except they left out Peru. She left out Peru. We have.
There was a touch on Peru starch mill.
Yeah.
So this is AI generator, I mean, this is what we
No,
did here.
no. I submit the articles, but sometimes other
I
people
wish I could do
write
that.
them. And she didn't put her name on it,
Okay.
but
No,
she's a
good
very
article.
good historian.
Good
Yes.
article.
Excellent. Thank you, Mel,
Thank you. I'll pass it on.
for confusing everybody.
If you like Craig, he would have accepted it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have hesitated. Put my name on anything you gets in the paper.
I just have one other thing to add. I spoke with Craig a while back that I thought it would be nice to have a meet our new supervisor or meet and greet or whatever. And so we were going back and forth whether we were going to do it on a Saturday. We weren't going back and forth. We were just talking about it on a Saturday. And he recommended and suggested election day because everybody would be next door. So does anybody have any objection to us just having it on the Gazette, having it on the website? We can put it on the community board after somebody votes. I'll probably just make some brownies and have some goodies if somebody wants to come over and have to be here.
If
Any
he's willing to
thoughts?
stay here, I'm all for it.
Was that a meet and greet? I couldn't quite hear it.
Yeah, it's basically a meet and greet. I guess if that's what we're calling it. What are we calling it?
Social hour.
Social hour.
On election day.
Oh, wait a minute, I come after all.
Social hour.
On election day.
On election.
Not alcohol.
Yeah, he,
Meet and
I
greet
mean,
works
Craig
better.
recommended election
Oh,
day,
yeah,
which is
my
right
hour.
next door.
I know, but
Stop
I think
it.
meet
And
and
you
greet,
can stop, you can say, well,
social hour doesn't sound like you're inviting people.
We're open.
Plus, it
Well,
exposed
we're
the
inviting
interior of the
people.
building.
That's what we're inviting down to come.
Well, I know, but I'm just thinking, I guess we can say you're invited to a social.
It just might,
Let
some
me-
people might just find that opportunity interesting.
Invited to meet the new supervisor.
Right.
Does anybody have an objection? We just had talked about doing that. Greg and I and Pam, we already talked about that.
I'm fine with it as long as Board of Elections and stuff don't say that it's within the polling area.
We don't have to deal with that, because none of us are running, nobody's running.
You know, I just didn't
Yeah,
want to.
I mean, we're not gonna hang a sign over there, you know what I mean?
I
It's
could
just,
put my truck over there.
I think you, I would say no.
no, really, my highest recommendation to you would be no.
You didn't come over so good last time, Mike. That was good.
So
I'm glad you have a sense of humor.
John, you got it for the Gazette then? Do you wanna
Yeah,
put it
what
for
time
the
did you say?
Whatever the normal hours of the town hall are, works fine.
9 to 3.
Okay.
I guess I can get up that early.
We can help you with that. Mel will give you a
I was
rooster
up at
call.
4 this morning, Craig, so.
I'm not an early riser, but I'm a late keeper of hours.
It's not early, Mr. Randall.
So maybe we should do 9 to 3, maybe like 11.
It's the first break of the day.
11 to 3. 11 to 3.
Does that sound better, Craig?
It sounds good.
Okay.
Oh,
11 to 3.
Okay.
We'll have time to get a pot of coffee hot.
Right, and then if, you know, if you fellas are out and about, but just, it's just kind of nice to do that, and I'll bake some stuff or whatever.
hopefully early going.
Any other item to come up under other business? If not, we'll move on to item 13.
We might want to go around the room on that,
Public
just to make
comment?
sure.
Yes. We have department heads here, so
Yeah.
we'll start with the ladies. Kristen?
So finishing soccer, they did take the nets down. Big, huge thank you to Courtney and everybody for fields. They were phenomenal this year. I know with the extra team, we used Sullivan. So I was able to get up and running basketball. As of yesterday, basketball registration went live. Yes, we're starting basketball already. And just to give you a little tidbit on that, our 5th and 6th grade boys, I already have 22 kids signed up.
Wow.
So this is having gone live yesterday. Most of the others are hovering anywhere between 4 and 10, but I only see the basketball program growing.
Yep.
So, and all of our programs seem to have been growing, soccer, you know, everything. So this has been fantastic, working with everybody. Nick Arnold with County has been wonderful as well. Fortunately, or happy news to him, he will be out for most of basketball season. He's taking a paternity leave. So he has clued everybody in on who's going to be taking over and that type. So there's some ordering in the works. So, but otherwise, we're just trucking from one season to the next. And we will have a youth commission this month as well. The only other thing is Greg Badger has reached out to me again. He stops me in school and says, hey, how about murals on the dugouts? So I do believe he has a, he has found a grant that would cover the cost of that. So it would just be which dugouts, everybody that we agree upon, and whether or not the town would approve it. So I'm gonna chat with him and pass along some other information, and we can go from there.
Be sports orientated, I
Yes.
presume.
Yes. The other thing is, Amy Marshall at the athletic director has had some signage made for the school district in regards to what it is to be a parent athlete, as far as what they consider respectful support of the athlete. And she was wondering if they could put it up, since they do use LAPMs, what they consider, since it is Section 7 and everything else. I said, send me a mock-up, let me get it approved by you. If we like it and want it more than just on one spot, we can. But it is Section 7 approved, and it does go over the finer points and what's expected of a parent. And I think that's not a bad thing for all of our parents to know.
No, some of them need it for sure.
Yeah, so as soon as she sends me the mock-up, I'll send that out to everybody as well.
Can I put you on the spot while you're up?
Sure.
I'm really interested in getting some sort of donation made to the wrestling booster.
Okay,
We used to, back in the day, we used to give money to the Pee Wee wrestling program that's held at school.
okay,
And I was hoping that maybe the youth commission could come up with some money this year for them. It usually starts right after the wrestling season.
okay. I can definitely talk to the youth commission about that.
Maybe have it go to the next meeting and bring it up for them.
That'd be
Or bring
fantastic.
Mike Hogan and let him bring it up.
Yeah. That'd be great. I've just started to get to know the sport of wrestling the past couple of years. I find it very interesting. It's really kind of fascinating, the different skills that are involved with it. So I think that's definitely something.
It's like any program,
Yeah.
this earlier you start, you have a nice division like you guys are with the soccer and the basketball, it makes varsity.
And I think that we've kind of gone down a little bit with our wrestling.
Yeah,
I think
COVID.
after COVID, exactly. So anything that would help support them, I think would be fantastic.
Excellent.
I mean, we support PALS by letting them utilize the fields and stuff like that. Unfortunately, we don't have an indoor. I don't think we want them wrestling downstairs, but, so any way that we could support them, definitely.
Perfect, thank you.
Yep.
I'll bring them to a meeting with me. It's just the next one is the 26th of November?
I believe,
19th of November at 5
yes,
o'clock.
they changed that because it was too close to Thanksgiving, so.
19th of November?
19th, yes.
Thank you, Kristen.
You're
Helen,
welcome.
now a little history.
Just three things. First of all, our October 19th tour of the town of Peru was pretty successful. We had between 20 and 25 people. Thank you, John. John came and taped some of it and at least took pictures. And so we think we're going to do it again next year because there were a lot of people that said that they would have gone if they had been able to. So we'll do it again. Two, there's a history chat next Monday at 10 here. I think it's going to be upstairs if it's all right. So it'll still be upstairs. We have
Not my
3
call.
people. Pardon?
Not my call.
Well, I know that everybody sort of wonders whether we're going to have it upstairs or downstairs. I don't think we're ready yet to have things downstairs, so it's upstairs.
Yeah, as long as the calendar's empty, just write your name in there.
It's on there.
You're all set.
Yeah, yeah. The third thing, the county's America 250 kickoff meeting is November 6th at the Plattsburgh Hall. And Ricky Barber was on representing Peru on that committee from the council before. And then I think he kept that responsibility after he left, but I'm not sure. Chris Mullen and I are going to this meeting. It's at 5 o'clock. And they sent around paperwork, and I don't know, Craig, if you got it?
I've seen
In
it.
the
It's on
mail?
my- It's on my desk.
Yeah,
Thank you.
okay, so you're invited too. They're trying to rally all the towns to get them to start thinking about what they're going to do for America 250. We're very lucky because the actual reenactment of the Battle of Alcor Island is in Peru, and it will be done on the water, so we will be wanting to do maybe other things. But the committee itself is managing the reenactment of the Battle of Alcor Island, so.
Excellent.
Great, that should be exciting.
That appointment to that committee was a seat-oriented thing, so you'd be looking at Eric for that.
I saw his hand go.
Yeah.
Okay.
He has lots
I
of
can let
time.
the committee
Oh, yeah.
know. I'm on the
Thank you.
committee, the main committee, plus I represent,
It doesn't.
He's always down by the lake working anyways.
Yeah, it rotates around the table.
That way.
Guess you're next.
You're the first on roll call, correct? Go.
Yeah, well, you're in the committee.
Well, I have all the paperwork, so I can.
Yeah, he did. He writes it. Paperwork too. He doesn't have enough paperwork in his job.
Okay. That's all.
Thank you,
Ricky may
Helen.
still want to be on it, though.
I'm sorry.
I said Ricky may still want to be on it, though.
Yeah, it's all right. He doesn't represent
that's
the
what
town
Liz
board
said.
though, so it's nice to have a representative of the town board on it.
Give him an honorary.
I'm all about that. I'll swear him in.
Pam? back over at this side. John?
Nothing, it's pretty slow. I feel like a lot of, you get a lot more calls from other towns now. I feel like other towns are losing their dog control officers or something. I'm not sure, maybe now that they're not allowed to go to Elmore, but it always seems to work out, so.
Thank you for that. Bob?
Just one thing, on November 11th at 6 p.m., we're going to have a meeting with a representative from the Lake George, Lake Champlain Regional Planning Board. It's Allison Gotti, and I have a list of approximately 10 individuals that wish to attend, and I'll send a reminder out again. Everyone's aware of that meeting. Yep. So it should be a...
This group would be the formation or the beginning formation of the comprehensive
Yes,
plan
yes, sir.
committee.
What
Exactly.
day is it?
Yeah. Excuse me?
What day?
It's November 11th at 6 p.m. I did put it on the calendar last,
Okay.
when I first became aware of it. It's a Tuesday, is that a Tuesday?
No, November 11th is a Monday.
It's a Monday.
I'm sorry. What did I put it on?
You got November 12th.
Thank you, Diane. That's correct. Diane.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
So isn't the 11th
Holiday.
Veterans Day.
Yeah, the 11th is Veterans Day.
So 11th.
Thank you.
It'll be the 12th.
Tuesday the 12th?
Yes.
Thank you.
Much better. I'll come both days,
Thank you.
since Eric's doing
Yeah,
the
it's
other
an
one.
honor.
Thank you, Bob.
Welcome.
Looking
Tyler,
forward to
you
it.
or Mike want to go?
I can go. We've been really busy in the shop, trying to catch up on repairs before winter. We got one plow truck calibrated. We were trying not to use it for pavement because it is calibrated. We just put a new hydraulic pump on our brine applicator, which we'll find out, says is a lot more accurate than the gas engine that we had. So we're a little eager to play with that and see if we can get our numbers more precise.
They save money too.
So, and then I'm sure Mike will talk about how we finally finished our last road today paving, which, hurrah, it's done. So, it's been a long summer, so we're ready for a long winter, I guess.
Short winter. Short winter.
Mike?
Yeah, we finished John Boswell. I'll run the numbers once I get them. But I actually take some calls in the morning because we gotta have all the paperwork in. Forget what the date in November, so we can get a check back for CHIPS money on direct deposit on the 15th of December. But if it's like the last couple of years, the state, it's been late, so I'm pretty confident that'll happen. So the only, I got an issue again, the bus, an email when I got back to paving today. McGuire Road, our famous McGuire Road, there's a bolt in the turnaround and logs, and the bus can't turn around. We've been going back and forth in this for 2 years.
Is that our buddy's house?
Yeah,
Put the snowplow up, push it up.
well, I'll move the logs, but I'm not touching the bolt. So at some point, I think Matt has to somebody's got to decide. Everything I have on state paperwork, what we get from CHIPS, that is
Yep.
town right away, road, whether it is or not, doesn't matter, we've been doing that, maintaining that forever.
Since
Way back before Elmer, so.
Yep.
But it needs to be put to bed.
I agree.
I think Matt has to get involved, I don't mind moving the logs. I think they're just cut pieces of firewood, to be honest with you, but he's blocking it off and the bus can't turn around. So, but the bolt's in way. There's no reason for that, other than, so it's that. We are gonna, I got a couple small projects, time being, just a couple hour culvert jobs, if I got the culvert in the yard. We got one new house on Ormsby where the homeowner's already bought it. He's got the pipe there, then we've got some holes we gotta finish up for Courtney here, right out front. Once that's done, we're switching to winter. This year, we are gonna stay on 6 o'clock in the morning. We're gonna go 6 to 2:30. I talked to the school, it'll cover all their late bus running, so that we're all good. The only concern I've got is, you know, the 5 o'clock traffic, but I'm betting on the salt reduction with us with a straight salt, it's gonna work. If I see it doesn't, then we're gonna go back to our 7 to 3:30, you guys all understand that. So it won't affect overtime or anything like that. Tyler and I, we got called, tomorrow, we're going to South Burlington, talk about our salt reduction program over there. They sent an email, I gotta blow it up my big screen, like Helen, it's so small you can't read it on the phone, so. We're going over there, gotta be over there for 12:30, it's just a couple hours, we've got some people over there. Assess we had, last week I did do a demo with Bioetics. I've looked at this company last couple years in the fall conference. What it is, it's a company uses A1, whatever it's called, AI. And you take a smartphone, you put it there's a bracket goes in your windshield, and it takes a picture every 10, at 35 miles an hour, it takes a picture every 10 seconds, and it sends it back, and you put it on your main computer, and it grades potholes, cracks, anything, street signs, fire hydrants, tree out in the road. There's a little gizmo, it's only about that big around, wraps around the steering wheel with a little button on it, not hooks any wires. You get to, say, a tree or dead deer somewhere, I would just push a button on this, and it would come up on the map with a flag where it actually is with the coordinates, GPS coordinates, right to where it is, instead of trying to drive a stake into the road when it's frozen.
Pretty high tech.
So it's an expensive program, I talked to Greg about it, but I think with our salt reduction, and I think it would help on insurance. It'll do a couple things, it'll estimate what a road condition should be just fixed potholes or should be totally reconditioned, paving or whatever. So I think it would help, but like I said, it's expensive. There's no state contract, it's a one source, it'd be a one source bid. I've already got prices, but they had a $800 cost for an iPhone, but I got 2 iPhones. I think we can use our own iPhone. This thing can go in any vehicle. It also has a winter mode and it also has a rec mode. So Courtney could take it, he could ride down the trail, do the same thing, the trail network, and it would take a picture every 10 seconds. It would tell them what the condition of the chip seal there is, or trees that may need to be trimmed, and it would actually target them on the map. And it'll estimate too on the roads what it'll cost. Obviously, it's going to be the prices we put in would be this year's prices or next year's prices if we do this, not knowing what the price of stuff is, but it would give you a rough price. So that's something I'm looking at. The third thing that come out of the fall conference, the state start with their audits is what they call a 284 agreement. A 284 agreement is the roads we're going to pave. After my second year going to highway school in Ithaca, they talked about, they had a class on the 284. At that time, 14 years ago, I did a 284 agreement and you brought it to the county highway superintendent. Well, 2 years in a row, they ripped it up. So now what they're finding is it's an agreement between myself, representing the highway department, and all board members. All board members would have to sign it. And it's expenditure just for the paving money, which is $404,000. So, but it becomes a little issue because I can give you a rough ballpark because it should be in sometime around your budget time, but we don't know the price of asphalt the next May or June. So you're looking at 6-7 months out, guessing, labor costs, now that we hire it done. And then I only normally name a couple roads we're gonna do till spring. Because once everything melts and we're back in the spring, we see what roads, like Sullivan Road, we ended up jumping on that and giving up Alexander and part of Campsite Road this year because it just went. If you do that, then I have to come back to you and we have to redo that one paper for that road all over again. So, I don't mind doing it, but it's up to you if you want me to do it.
They rip up a paper with my name on it, I want to know about it.
But I would sign it, it's a binding contract, what it is.
Why did the county just
They didn't want, no, I don't know why they ever put the county on it, because they got enough miles of road to take care of. It was something the state come up with, and it had to go through the superintendent. So, like, when I brought it to them, they could say no, even though it's our roads, we can do it. So, at least this way, it's between us and the board, but to me, it's kind of stepping on toes, because I'm not to brag, I'm out there every day, or whoever in my spot, all over the state. They know what their roads are and what needs to be done.
Right.
So, it's whatever you want me to do.
Yeah, is that gonna help us
I think if
secure
you
the
get
road?
audited, they're gonna probably find something anyway, but it's up to you.
Is it gonna help us secure any more funds or anything like that?
No, it's nothing to do with, it's only whatever you spend for pay. That's all the 284 agreement is. I mean,
Can you send it to us in an email so we can look at it?
yeah, I just printed one out, so.
Okay.
Great.
I'd like to take a peek at it.
Yeah, you cannot not look at it.
I would say I'm not, I'd make sure that, you know.
Yeah, me or Matt, don't matter.
I'd say not.
And the last thing, we are staying at 10-hour days till November 18th. November 19th, weather permitting. I mean, if the weather changes, we'll jump off the 10-hour days. The 19th, we'll be back on our 5 days a week, about 6 to 2:30.
Excellent, thank you.
Does that Bioletics tell if there's moss on the trail?
Tell what?
If there's moss on the trail?
Yeah, it'll show everything.
I think we should do it.
It's actually, it's pretty neat because it'll pick up a pothole like this and it grades it. So it's not immediate it'll give you a report, so it's.
Well, especially if you don't have to buy the related backbone piece to go with it.
But it'll give you, and it's nice to give you a report because you say, we go out and patch holes that it's freezing rain or whatever, it doesn't stay. But you can say, here it is, yeah, they did go out.
Yeah.
And the state should get one. The state should get one.
Yeah.
Okay. Courtney.
My turn. Guess I'll start with the bad news. I guess everybody knows is the van did not pass inspection. The frame is bad enough now that it wouldn't pass. Hopefully we can come up with some kind of resolve for that. It is a pretty important piece of equipment. I've been looking at used stuff, but then we got to look at the other end of where we get the money to pay for it. I called and checked on the actuators today. They're hoping to be shipped out at the end of the week. So hopefully that's something next week we could start mounting again.
Be sure to record the track number.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully they all install smoothly. We've been very fortunate with the weather.
Yeah, we were talking about that today.
We would have had
It's
some.
nice to have a drought when you don't have water working right.
Or do we go pick them up ourselves, so
Yeah,
we
or
skip
that.
the middleman this time?
One of the, they do have most of the parts and they're fabricating the mounts and
Excellent.
stuff. We'll have to do some fabrication to get them to line up with the valves. They're making us templates for that.
Excellent, excellent. Glad it's working
I
out.
was asked by one of the Girl Scout troops if I could give a tour of the water plant. Is the board fine with that?
Absolutely.
It'll be in the evening, end of November, I believe, 21st, possibly.
Oh, that'd be great.
So,
Yeah, we probably should have a motion for that for insurance purposes.
Absolutely. I make a motion to allow the Girl Scouts to go through a tour to the water plant.
Second that. Second, Eric.
we're looking at the 21st of November right now.
Somewhere around the 21st.
Probably should be mandatory for everybody on the water system.
I'd like to see if he's gonna have a meet and greet in the election day, maybe you could bring that poster that's in the water plant that I love so much, with all the different pictures on it.
On the wall.
Yeah. Maybe put it up in here for the day, just so people that do come in and see Mr. Inno, they can check out that.
That's a good idea, Craig. We've also got the culvert map here
Yeah.
that folks can get a visual shot at where these things
It's
really
a
are.
real informative poster, pictures and stuff, and kind of pretty cool.
Be a good idea.
I'm sorry, I didn't get who did the second, did I got correct?
Eric with the second.
Okay, thank you.
On that motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, okay, we're good for that.
So our lead survey was submitted to the local health department and the state health department a day early in the timeline. Now our next step is we have to send letters, I believe by November 15th, to all the unknown lines in the system. So that's going to be over 500 of our customers.
Holy moly.
Depending on the response I got from our survey, or the records, that lack of records, I guess, that we have, I need to know what our part of the water service is and the residents' part. So if I know ours, but I don't know theirs, it's an unknown. If they responded with, they have copper, but I don't have any map that shows
But
what's
this,
in the ground for us, that's another unknown.
this require you going into these houses yourself?
Some of them, we offer people, if they're not comfortable telling, we'll come out. I have a feeling these letters are gonna cause a lot of talk, and people are gonna get a lot of questions. It's a lot of, and these are generated by the state, which I think if it was from the EPA also. There's a lot of verbiage in there on lead. They talk about sending your kids to get to the doctors, to get lead tested. It's gonna be, I think it's gonna be a lot of phone calls personally. So this is gonna be an ongoing thing for my staff. We're gonna have to send these letters out every year until we determine somebody's water line is not lead. I've worked in this town since 1996. I have never seen a lead line in this town. I've talked to staff that's been here longer than me, that's been retired. They've never seen a lead line in this town. But if you don't have the documentation to prove it.
So that does not include lead solder on copper?
Not so much, no. So the service line they're considering is from the adapter at the main to the meter in the house. Those surveys did ask if people had lead solder, but that's not the concern right now. There are places, like I said, I've never seen one that actually have a lead line in the ground. Now, Peru does have lead adapters, which is an 18-inch piece of lead pipe. It's 18 to 24-inch piece of lead pipe that comes off the main, makes the bend, and then it converts to galvanized copper or whatever. They're not concerned with those right now. They're only concerned with a lead service line. Obviously, whenever we come across a lead adapter, we remove them. These letters will be going out.
So,
I'm hoping to meet with John to get an article, maybe just explaining some of this better. I mean, there's people that, if they didn't respond, say like, you know, Bloomfield Drive, I think I have a house. Well, there's obviously not a lead pipe there, the house was built after date, but it got missed on the date thing we used in the program, you know. So this is gonna be an ongoing thing where we're gonna have to be getting into these houses, start knocking these lines up. And then all the ones we don't know of ours, we're gonna start digging them up.
yeah,
There's no other way to determine it other than dig it up.
Yeah.
So.
better than sending out letters.
I mean, and, you know, the only way we can stop sending people letters is by, you know, digging it up.
Verifying it.
I mean, you know, if somebody has a galvanized line in their house right now, and the town put a new water main and new copper services down that road in 2025, well, if I don't have a record what was there before that piece of copper, it's considered a galvanized requiring replacement that could have had a lead line.
Who's responsible for that? We're responsible for all the water lines going to the house?
No, we're responsible from the water main to our shut off at the easement.
So curb box forward as long as.
Right, to the homeowner. But again, if we've changed our part and they have a galvanized piece, and we don't have a record what was there before,
Still gotta
it's
dig it up
considered a
there.
galvanized service line requiring replacement. You gotta send them a letter.
Got it.
This
It's
will
gonna be a lot,
generate,
it's
this
gonna be a
will
lot of work.
generate a lot of phone
A lot of
calls.
work, a lot of expense, a lot of phone calls. You know, people see that word lead in their water, and, I mean, granted, we test for lead. We have 10 residents, we test every 3 years. We're on limited testing because we've never had an issue. So the minimum is 10 residents every 3 years. We've never had a hit above the
Excellent.
above the MCO. When we changed chemical, when I first took over at the water plant, they bumped us up a level. We had 20 houses, I think, every year for so long, and then they reduced it. Nobody over the,
No one ever went
over the limit then.
That should give you some breathing room, huh? I don't think they.
Yeah, I'm not concerned. I just, with the lack of records or
Right.
It's just the legwork,
the data,
A to B now.
you start sending these letters out, especially when they start telling people, which most physicals now, they test children for lead.
Yeah.
I think that's a standard.
What year can you safely say lead, what year of construction?
I believe they banned it somewhere in the early 2000s, maybe a little sooner, maybe in the 90s.
So they don't need any verification for any of those, then
Yeah, those are pretty much,
pretty much sure.
yeah.
It's either copper or Repex.
I mean, we got houses from the 1800s and I know it's been there the whole time.
The sewer lines, that's a little different, there's a lot.
Compared to what's in-
No, and unfortunately, a lot of times, lines will get replaced, you don't document it, just go in and replace it.
Well,
This is the future.
something to look forward to.
Sounds like you got a full house.
Yeah, so, if anybody's questioned, I'll let everybody know when we mail those letters, they're 3 pages right now.
And tell them it's a good lead, not the bad lead.
Anything else?
Other than that, I think we're good. On Park side, we're gonna start picking up Lapham's Mills and the parks for winter.
Okay.
I think the porta potties, we got them through till November. Disc golf, we got all 18 baskets installed, and I want to say they have about 10 of the tee pads poured. Worked on all of that last week.
So it looks like that'll be a next spring
Yeah.
finish.
By then you should have a sign.
Yeah, and then once we get the tee pads done, we gotta work on signs, signage, and
I need a committee.
that's it.
Okay. Anything else before we move on to the resolution for payment bills?
Now you know why he at least has many minions underneath it.
Yeah.
All good, Mr. Randall?
I'd ask for a motion authorizing the post-audit payment of certain claims, bills, and invoices of the town. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Eric motions, second. No? Madam Clerk?
A resolution authorizing the post-audit payments of certain claims, bills, and invoices of the town, whereas the town board has reviewed and audited the following claims, bills, and invoices for services rendered or goods provided to the town in October 2024, from town of Peru vouchers for October 2024, 2024-01460 through and including 2024-01550, abstract dated 10/24, for the dollar amount totaling $154,674.58. Of that, $26,963.97 was wired credit cards and prepaid, and $127,710.61 is remaining to be paid for October 2024. Whereas the town board finds said claims, bills, and invoices to be acceptable in form and reasonable in amount, now therefore be it resolved that payment of the aforementioned claims, bills, and invoices is approved, and the supervisor be and hereby is authorized to make such payment, and be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Duquette?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
And Mr. Earl?
Yes.
Thank you.
I believe that brings us to the end of our accident. I am asking this evening for a motion for the board to go into executive session. The topic of the discussion will deal with personnel performance.
I'll make that motion.
Correct.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Do you anticipate any action following?
No, I'm not anticipating any action this evening. Thank you.
Okay, cool. I was in that.